This week on the Electric Playground, we talk to Mike Wilson about God. We take a look at the amazing Zelda 64. We travel to Dallas, Texas and visit Ion Storm. And we talk to the creators of Mortal Kombat 4.
Now, id, the company that brought you Quake, had one too many Johns. Now, John Carmack stayed to make Quake 2, and John Romero, he left to form Ion Storm.
Hey, Electric Playground's here in Dallas, Texas. We're here to talk to the people at Ion Storm, and guess what? We're going up there. The space is all fixed up. Last time we were here, it was just being put together. There was metal girders and drywall all over the place.
Yep.
How has this been?
It's turned out exactly the way we wanted it. We've gotten everything in here that we've wanted.
I'm Doug.
I'm Mindy.
And we're going to give a quick tour of Ion Storm.
And it looks cool, and it's a fun place to work.
This is our lovely receptionist, Jennifer Emmert.
Noel Stevens, our web designer, the guy that puts everything to the public. Hi. William Haskins, our writer. What's up? Bob Pop. That's trademarked. What you got, Bob?
I got nothing. What do you got, Doug?
What are some of those things that you guys have in here?
We have the room that we needed for Will Lecanto to do music, sound effects, voiceovers. The art staff takes up like half the thing.
And those are all those little metal cubicles that you see all over the place?
Yeah, they're everywhere. Well, we wanted the deathmatch stations over here with the motion capture right on top of it.
Any thoughts that Todd Porter did Dominion? That's all a cover. That guy? Dominion.
How you doing, Todd?
Good. How you doing?
Real good. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
So you got to tell me a little bit about your history. I understand you've been in this business for quite a bit of time.
Yeah, I started at a tiny little company up in Chicago, Penguin Software, and was at Origin for some time. Worked on my own title, Knights of Legend, and the Ultima series, and I actually worked on a lot of the titles at that point because you pretty much everybody had to help out.
How would you explain Dominion to people that are scouring the shelves for a new real-time strategy game?
Well, I think that, you know, the most important thing is that people who had that experience when they played Warcraft and Command and Conquer when they first came out of just being addicted to the title. Dominion certainly is a title like that, and I think that, you know, that's probably its biggest selling point. I think what will get people hooked is the fact that we've innovated so many different directions on that. We've got over 90 minutes of cinematics and 1,000 frames of animation per unit, and the AI is so advanced that it'll be like playing another human being.
Jake Strider Hughes. I'm associate producer for Daytona and Anachronox.
Anachronox, that's Tom Hall's game. Correct?
Tom Hall's.
Where can we find Tom Hall?
You know, if you'll follow me, I think that he's busy.
Let's talk about Anachronox.
Anachronox, what does that mean? Well, it's anachronism, it's a thing from the past, and nox means poison. Poison from the past, and then ideas started forming about that of a city that had this weird poison from the past, and the people didn't want to live there, and then they purged it, and all the scum of the universe came in. Anyways, it's a 3D sci-fi RPG. It's third person. There's 7 characters, 3 of which you play at a time, and they travel through the universe trying to figure out this big mystery, what's going on, and how can they stop what's going on.
That's it?
That's about it, dude.
Cool.
I'm not talking anymore.
Okay, you're done.
Hey, no. Stop it.
Okay.
I'm talking.
Let's talk about Daikatana. How is it all coming together? How are things going?
It's going really good. Like pretty much all the models have been finished. The animations are almost finished for everything. The skins are going to take a little bit more time because we only have one guy doing skins. Everything's moving along and getting stuff finished.
Is the story changing at all? It's sticking
same
straight?
story.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, just being filled out better.
We popped in and we took a look at this amazing theater room that you guys have.
State-of-the-art THX Theater.
How much did a rig like that cost?
I don't know. I don't think about it too much. Yeah. All I think about is I got to make some really cool games to pay this money back. I'm just worried about paying the money back.
It's the only way to watch the Electric Playground. Everybody's got to have a TV this big.
According to Nintendo, Zelda 64 is going to be one of the biggest selling games ever for their system. Now, we got a chance to talk to Shigeru Miyamoto, the creator and designer of the Zelda series, to find out why.
In my mind, this Zelda game is like a great adventure book that requires the combined imaginations of both the author and the reader. My goal was to make a place for players that would be very different from the real world. The Nintendo 64 lets me realize this goal better than ever before.
It will be the single biggest selling piece of video game software in history.
Why is this going to be the game of the year?
We think Zelda 64 could well be the biggest game ever.
Is it just that the game is now a 3D action-adventure title, or is there a lot more gameplay going on in this?
I think the mechanics that are possible with Nintendo 64 allow us to do a lot more stuff that's really intuitive and allows a player to really feel like he's more in touch with his character.
Mr. Miyamoto, I was wondering if you'd use the 3D power of the N64 to help create a more realistic simulation for this Zelda.
Sometimes it's not very good to become closer to the reality because it's very difficult to play. For example, if you are playing with an actual goal, it's very difficult to make the very good score. But in the simulation game of the golf, you can easily get a good score. That's what you are enjoying with the simulation.
How was Miyamoto and his team able to get beyond some of the fogging issues and give us these rich textured backgrounds?
They're magicians. They know the hidden arts of video gaming. And so we have that 256 megabit ROM card instantly addressable, and it's pulling things down as we need them in real time.
What about a Game Boy version, another Game Boy Zelda game?
Mr. Miyamoto's team is now working on a color version. Basically the storyline is the same, but for the Game Boy Color, it's reprogrammed.
Tell me about the innovative control in Zelda 64. I understand that you're no longer performing the jumps with the buttons. It automatically does it for you.
The player has other things to think about. You just need to be able to gauge how far you can jump. The other thing is that you have a little fairy, a little companion who constantly goes around you and finds important things in the background. Your fairy will show you who the enemies are, who the nice people are, where your hidden items are, what to look for. And that's absolutely crucial in a game that's this huge.
Well, everybody in the world's waiting for this one, man. Can't wait.
We're extremely excited about being able to bring it out. Everybody's wanted it. Everybody's been asking for it. It's finally perfect, and everybody's going to get it.
Thanks, Alan.
My pleasure.
EP wanted to find out more about God, so we went straight to the source.
Why did you guys have to create Gathering of Developers?
It was a result of my experience being at top independent development companies at id and Ion Storm, and seeing that even those guys with the best games in the business and reputations and supposedly the best deals had a pretty rotten deal. You know, it was very hard. I was the intermediary between protecting these developers from the big bad publishers, and in too many cases they really were the big bad publishers. It became apparent that, you know, with one or two games, you can be as good as the rest of these guys. But we have the relationships to bring out, you know, half the top 10 games in any given year on the PC. And so it was a pretty easy decision to say, you know, let's all get together. We look forward to other traditional publishers going, okay, you really can pay those royalties to the good guys, and you really can let them have a say in the marketing, and it really is better to tell people who made the game than who shipped it to the shelf.
What are the games that you guys have coming out in the next little while?
Well, the ones we're showing here, our very first game is Jazz Jackrabbit 2 by Epic Mega Games. It's fantastic. It's a side-scroller, the best one ever made. It was what most reviews are saying right now. We've got Fly from Terminal Reality that's got the Microsoft Flight Sim guys shaking in their boots. We've got Railroad Tycoon 2 from Pop Top, sequel to Sid Meier's classic. The response from that game's been bigger than any game I've ever been involved with, including Doom and Quake.
What about this Heavy Metal license that I've heard about?
We just announced that. That's in very early stages of development. but it's so exciting just as a deal that we had to announce it. It's fantastic. That's very likely our big game for '99.
Right on. Great to meet you.
Good to meet you.
All the success for this thing, man. We're all pushing for you.
Thanks a lot.
Why is there a toilet paper roll in the back of this plane here? What's this all about?
You never know. You know, these Cessnas are small, but if you're agile enough, there's actually a lot you can do on one of these, just right from the wing.
That's true.